Sometimes a piece of media is delayed for so long it turns into a pop culture mirage. You start to wonder if it'll ever actually arrive, or if it's destined to sit in the same mythical waiting room as the next Rihanna album. Between 2019 and 2022, Euphoria exerted an absolute cultural chokehold on Gen Z aesthetics, flooding the internet with glittery eyeshadow and surreal high school trauma. The series served as a massive launchpad for its cast, pushing rising teen stars like Zendaya, Sweeney, and Jacob Elordi squarely onto the global A-list. But then came a massive 5-year gap between seasons. The audience was left waiting for an 18-episode show to finally wrap up its story, hoping it would drop before the high school-aged cast hit their 30s. That kind of delay does strange things to a show's legacy. The longer the wait, the higher the expectations climb, until the return is burdened by a standard almost impossible to meet. The production was hit by a barrage of real-world roadblocks. Everything from the global pandemic to the devastating Los Angeles fires brought filming to a complete standstill. Behind the scenes, the delays were compounded by whispers of internal drama. Rumors began mounting about deep rifts between the primary cast and the show's creator, Sam Levinson. You could feel the shift in the air during the final press tours. There was practically zero social media hype from the actors. Instead of genuine excitement, the promotional cycle carried the distinct, heavy flavor of a contractual obligation. Then, the embargo lifted. The wait was over, but the results were catastrophic. The Guardian laid it out brutally, declaring the third season absolutely not worth the wait. All the off-screen drama and production hell were apparently just a warm-up. They were merely the precursor to a total tonal collapse on the screen. Early Euphoria managed to balance its heavy topics with a surreal charm and sharp, dark humor. Now, critics argued that balance is gone, replaced by what the review explicitly labels torture porn. The 3 episodes released to the press are described as a grubby, humorless slog. The script seems obsessed with and simultaneously repulsed by the sex work it portrays. We catch up with Rue 5 years after the end of Season 2. She hasn't found any semblance of grace or recovery. Instead, she's drawn into an existence that is horrifically bleak. She's now working as a mule, moving drugs between Mexico and the US to settle her debts. The show forces us through visceral scenes, like Rue meticulously lubing up and swallowing fentanyl balloons. Rue's smuggling operation plays out like a mix of westerns and blaxploitation films. She ends up working for a Stetson-wearing club owner named Alamo, who keeps a rehab clinic on speed dial. Rue's relentlessly grim trajectory serves as the clearest proof of the season's core problem. The show has traded in its human heart for unearned shock value. The descent extends well beyond Rue. The series once prided itself on nuanced, modern portrayals of Gen Z life, but the new arcs for characters like Cassie and Jules have devolved into bafflingly dated tropes. Take Cassie. She's regressed into a toxic tradwife caricature alongside Nate. Her past complexity is flattened into a one-dimensional storyline where she's secretly making OnlyFans content while dressed in a puppy costume. Then there's Jules. Her character used to be the unapologetically queer heart of the series, offering a rare, non-exploitative look at trans life. Now she's been sidelined into a confused sugar baby storyline, functioning mainly as a blank canvas for male perversion. Sam Levinson has defended these choices. He stated the season is meant as a serious exploration of addiction, a tribute to the third step of AA, and a memorial to the late Angus Cloud. But those attempts at profundity ring hollow. They are entirely undermined by the script's desperate need to rattle the audience through constant, suffocating character misery. Shock value only works when it is anchored by genuine humanity. Without it, the story isn't compelling. It's just rattling the cage for the sake of the noise. The critical consensus is clear. The fault lies entirely in the writing, not the performers. Zendaya and Sweeney are still delivering excellent work, pouring their talent into the material that aggressively fails them. Looking back at the press tour, that contractual feeling makes sense. The cast themselves appeared eager to just get the season over and done with. And that is especially tragic given the real sense of loss hanging over these episodes, which mark the final on-screen appearances for actors like Eric Dane and Angus Cloud. Euphoria once defined a generation's aesthetic and pushed the boundaries of television. Its tragedy is ending its run as a tired, desperate version of the show it once was.